Why aren't the comedians funny anymore? Why does stand-up suck? This is the question I'm going to try to answer today. I think I may have the real answer as to why everyone is fed up with the state of stand-up comedy today. And I thought we legalized comedy, huh, Elon Musk? But it seems like it's just the day the clown cried, because everything is bad now. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the King Leo Show. I'm your host, King Leo. Today, we need to talk about stand-up, man. We need to talk about comedy because it is in a gutter. It has never been worse than it is today. But before we do that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Baudrillardians, check in the comments because I think I have the real answer as to why stand-up sucks through the frame of our hero, Baudrillard. Okay, I think that he may have nailed this before he passed. How's everyone doing? Consider becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon. But let's get into it, all right? Stand-up comedy used to be very funny. In the 2010s, it was a funny craft. You could find comedians that you liked that were on the right or the left or the center, apolitical. It didn't matter. There were funny people all around. You could tune into the Laugh Factory's YouTube and find something that will give you a chuckle. There were a lot of funny comedians. But nowadays, this is going away. I have not had a comedian make me laugh in a stand-up setting in probably years at this point. And why is this the case? Well, before we do that, before we diagnose the problem, I want to describe the problem because I think that there are three types of stand-up that exist, and they all suck now. These are the only ones that exist, all right? Let's start with the laziest, the most boring, the stupidest, which is crowd work. I know there may be fans of Stravos here. I'm not shitting on the guy. I know he's one of the most well-known crowd work guys. But crowd work, guys, is not, in my opinion, it's not stand-up. It's something else. It's this performative thing where comedians do not have to write jokes. They're playing off a crowd with pre-scripted responses. They're hoping and praying that someone in the audience is going to give them good material. And if not, they can always spin it. They can always spin it into something that's supposed to be funny. This plague of crowd work has taken over TikTok, YouTube Shorts, any short-form content, Instagram Reels, where all comedians do is harass people in the crowd, asking them, "Hey man, where do you work? Oh, that's so funny. You work for Lockheed Martin? That's so gay." That's literally that is the peak of crowd work. It cannot be any better than that. That is all crowd work can do. It's not funny. It's lazy. Comedians used to look down on it. If you read through comedy history, they always saw it as below them because you're not perfecting a craft. I actually chatted with ChatGPT as to why this type of stand-up is so popular nowadays. And it explains something because my ChatGPT is coded in Baudrillard, so it's able to help clarify a lot to me. It said something which is true, which is that a lot of people nowadays, they don't want to watch a stand-up routine because they know it's scripted. They know that it's been written out. They know that they are repeating a routine. So what they want is something spontaneous. They want to see the comedian interact with the real world. They want to see them come up with stuff on the fly. But the thing that I know, and that any discerning viewer knows, is that crowd work is not on the fly. It's the same thing. It's another routine, but it doesn't look like a routine. It feels more real than the real because we're in the hyper-real, baby. We're in the Baudrillardian Kali Yuga, baby. This is just the truth. This is just the truth. So you want something so real that you'll settle for something fake. Nihilism. Puh, nihilism. That's why I hate crowd work. What's the other type of comedy we have? We have the Joe Rogan sphere comedy, the Kill Tony comedy, and this stuff is not funny, man. This stuff was transgressive like 10 years ago when things were more censored. But I'm not impressed that you're using ethnic and gender slurs anymore. I'm not impressed when Joe Rogan, I'm not going to say him specifically. I didn't watch his last stand-up special. But, you know the type that goes up on stage and they go, "Trannies, am I right?" And the audience is hooting and hollering. Why is this funny? This is just a slur. Like, this is not, there's no cleverness here. They won't say the N-word. They won't say the N-word, but they'll use any ethnic slur besides that. Any ethnic or gender slur. They are obsessed with transgender people for some reason. I don't understand what the obsession is with them. It's like, why do these people piss you off this much? Did they make your life hell that much that you have to keep kicking them 10 years after? I mean, didn't Elon Musk, once again, he said legalize comedy. Didn't we legalize comedy? So why are you still making the same stupid jokes you were making 5 to 10 years ago? It doesn't make sense to me. And the third type of stand-up, which you'll find online mostly, it's still a routine. It's still low effort. They're not well written. And they code as liberal or left wing, man. I saw this one recently. This female comedian out of Miami who made a joke about how bullets don't hit hot people because because a bullet hit JFK, but a bullet didn't hit Donald Trump. How is this funny? This isn't funny. Even if you hate Donald Trump, man, how is that funny? There's no cleverness there. What's the point of this joke? This joke is... We used to have Mitch Hedberg, bro. We used to have George Carlin. We used to have real comedians. Why are comedians struggling, though? That is the question. Because this is something that people are noticing. I see people speak about stand-up comedy in this dismissive way now. So I think the problem is deeper, and it may not exactly be the comedian's fault, okay? I think the reality is, from a Baudrillardian point of view, from a Robert Putnam point of view, Bowling Alone, great book, is that we now live in a postmodern time, in my view. But let's keep it postmodern for the viewer here. Let's keep it real simple, all right? You can pick your own reality, dude. We are in the later editions of Call of Duty where you can make decisions that change the outcome of the game. This is the world you're in, okay? Not everyone is watching the news anymore. Not everyone is watching Walter Cronkite or Rachel Maddow. There is no common experience anymore. We do not experience events together. Everyone chooses what they watch. Someone goes home and they go watch a Twitch streamer play video games. Someone goes home and watches Fox News. Someone goes home and watches CNN. Someone goes home and, they watch a Disney movie. Someone goes home and no one is forced into a common reality anymore. And this presents a great deal of difficulty for people like comedians, because comedians traditionally rely on all of us having a similar experience. Because when you have that similar experience, we can all laugh at it together. But now, unless the event is huge, unless the event is like Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, level, no one really hears about it, okay? No one knows what's going on. The most prescient example is what? There's an attempted war going on in Venezuela right now. Do you know what the Venezuelan people are watching on their news? You have no idea. But you're watching here and they're telling you that fentanyl's coming in because of Venezuelan boats. And that's your reality. Their reality might be completely different. You have no idea. So how could a stand-up comedian make something funny for both Venezuelans and Americans? They have completely different realities, man. You cannot make jokes for people that watch. Some of them watch Fox News, where Donald Trump is the hero that's saving the world, and the other people are watching MSNBC, and the stock market is just crashing. It does not make sense. There is no common culture. This is expected. This is a product of technology to an extent. This is not temporal. This could have happened 100 years ago or 1,000 years in the future. But it's just a technology we have now, man. This pick your own reality, be your own player in the game. Do not actually choose. Choice is now something that you have. It is not removed. This is the paradox of choice, right? There are too many choices. And that means that we cannot make decisions anymore. And that means that comedians cannot decide on what to joke about anymore. It is incredibly difficult. And you can really see that this is an issue for comedians because there's a lot of funny people out there that still exist. Look, for example, Tim Dillon is hilarious. He's a very funny guy. I like him a lot. His podcast is great. His stand-up is not great. And I don't think it's his delivery. I don't think so. I think it's simply that how can you put out a Netflix special that's going to be relevant 20 years from now, dude? If you try to watch like Eddie Murphy Raw now, I'm sure it's dated. I haven't watched it since I was a kid. I'm sure it's dated. I'm sure it won't make you laugh like it did before. But before that was evergreen. That special, you could watch it up until 2016 and it was hilarious. Okay? This is the same all throughout history. It's not that, but it's different in the sense that things are not dated. It's just that you cannot make jokes. You cannot craft a routine that is timeless and that appeals to everyone in the moment, or at least even like 10% of the population. You can't do it. Everyone lives in their own silo, in their own little thing. And for that reason, I think that stand-up as a medium, when I was talking to ChatGPT, it told me that at this point, it's more of performance art. It's not really about the jokes. And that makes a lot of sense. I think if you're trying to be a comedian now that focuses on stand-up, you're playing a losing game, man. You might be able to make a career out of it. That's true. But at a niche level, it's not going to be like before. It's not going to be like Jim Gaffigan or, I don't know, like, what's his name? Jon Stewart or, the Australian guy that did The Daily Show too. It's not going to be like that, okay? Jim Jeffries. This is not going to be like that. It's going to be very niche. It's going to be very repetitive, very short form, and it kills the art. So stand-up comedy isn't really stand-up comedy anymore. It's something else. It's like TikTok comedy. And I don't think that's very funny. Maybe it's because I'm old. Maybe it's because I'm an old head, But I would wish if someone could craft something that goes through all these narratives. I think that we will see a return to the absurd, to the theater of the absurd, all right? Famous Chilean director, Jodorowsky, man. Yeah, Jodorowsky, like one of the best absurdists of all time, all right? Camus, another absurdist. We will have to go into the absurd, into the surreal, to make meta-narratives and meta-commentary and meta-politics in order to make people laugh. Because otherwise, you're going to be stuck doing either like racist routines, crowd work, or boring liberal jokes. Because what's the alternative? How can a comedian succeed in this day and age? I think it's actually impossible. I think it's impossible to achieve what Jerry Seinfeld achieved in the past, what Chris Rock achieved in the past, because it's just not going to happen, man. Even Louis C.K., man, I thought Louis C.K. was funny. I used to think he was funny, his stand-up. I can't watch it anymore. His show was hilarious. He's a great writer. But you watch his stand-up now, and it's not what it used to be, and I don't think it's his fault, because he was a funny guy. He was a genuinely funny guy. I've seen a lot of comedians mentioning Louis C.K., by the way, that what they're doing is they're starting to resort to blue humor again, like poop and farts and piss and sex. It's just this stuff that it's so crude, it's so base, it's so boring, that how can this be the new comedy? I refuse to believe that this is the new comedy. I'd rather say rest in peace. That was the end of stand-up. Stand-up died after 2020, at minimum. After 2020, stand-up is over. Throw in the towel. Go do a great podcast. Go do a great sketch show. But stand-up, I can't see it coming back in the way that it existed. It can come back in another form, but just not in the way it existed. And it's disappointing, but dude, I mean, don't cry about spilled water under the bridge, okay? Don't cry about it. I don't cry because Blockbuster's not here anymore. I don't cry, okay? I accept it because I'm an adult, and adults move on. And if you want to be a stand-up comedian, I guess get really good at TikTok and crowd work, or insulting minorities, or doing shitty liberal jokes, because there's really no other way to do it. And it's funny because we're at a time where people keep saying that this is a huge stand-up boom, that stand-up is coming back now. In South Florida, this is a huge, our new stand-up. And they're not very good. They're not very good. And it's not their fault, because I know some of these people, and they're very funny on a personal level. But they just can't sell it to the audience, man. They can't sell it. I wonder who even goes to comedy shows nowadays, man. Because if you're going to, I think comedy shows in and of themselves are now becoming another simulacrum. It's like, I'm going to go in here to laugh, to have fun. I'm here, I'm primed to have fun. But it's not even that. It's even sadder. It's more like, well, what can I do? There's nothing really to do. I could go to the movie theater with my date, or I could go to the stand-up show. Might as well go to the stand-up show. Drinks are cheaper, and I don't have to buy a ticket. All right, well, if that's what we're doing. You might as well go play tennis. You might as well go play some soccer. You might as well get something out of it. Get something physical out of it, because laughter, you're not going to get out of there. You're going to be primed for it, but you're going to leave that stand-up show, and in the back of your mind, you're going to be wondering, was that guy really that funny? I remember laughing at some really funny guys years ago, but that guy, he was not that funny. And that will frustrate you, and you will think it's you. It's not you, man. It's not even the comedians. It's hell. Because we live in hell, as I always say. And that's the Baudrillardian answer to why stand-up comedy sucks. Maybe we should all watch Fox News or CNN. Everyone take a pact. We will watch Fox News every night in order so that comedians can be funny again. But until that's done or stand-up completely changes, it's over, man. It's over. And with that, everybody, what do you think? Do you guys name any comedians that you think are still funny in a stand-up setting? I want to know about that because I would love to find some. I was a stand-up fan, and I would love to find some. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, enjoy your day. It's Thursday, man. Halloween tomorrow. You can really feel the pull of the weekend. Shout out to Lindy, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you tonight on stream.